Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval Green here and welcome to another video. A lot of you asked me in the comments, why did you get your Dr. Fate to 7 stars, Sigval? That's a secret strategy to do it? No, not really. So today we're going to go over what characters you should get to 7 stars first. And we'll go over what changes when you get them to 7 stars, for what reasons you should get them to 7 stars, and then we'll have a chart for the order in which you should get them to 7 stars. First up, I'm going to start by telling you should not get your Dr. Fate to 7 stars. I just did it for the flex point and for the points and for the sake of having a 7-star character. So yeah, now getting to it, first up, let me explain what changes when you get the character to 7 stars. First up, you'll not be able to see that because my Dr. Fate is not even level 70, but it will unlock a cap all the way to level 80, so the character will be able to level up all the way to 80, and you'll get a slight increase in your base attack, like the base value over here, and your base health. And as a result of the fact that you're going to be able to get all the way to level 80, you're going to get a further increase in your base attack and base health as you level up. And then you will also get an increase in the level of the abilities. That also is going to be able to increase like the duration of the abilities, like the duration of the sun. And third of all, you're going to get your super move upgraded and will increase the damage boost for the duration of the fight to 50%. Again, it's a little bit weird calculated and it's not gonna really be a 50%, but you're gonna deal more damage if you do the super move at the start. So far, those are all the things that are going to change with 7 stars. It might seem like a lot to unpack, but I actually don't think it's something that significant, and I actually think for most characters it's not gonna be a boost in damage and in performance that's going to go above like 10% more damage. And as you can see, we're only talking about damage because the main things are you're going to get increased star this, which gets you damage, the base attack, which gets you damage, the level of the abilities, which get you further damage, and yeah, the only thing that tanks get out of this is a little bit more health, and to be fair, they don't really need it. And the only character that's gonna have, as far as I'm aware, a passive that upgrades all the way to level 7 is going to be Vixen. So yeah, the passives don't tend to upgrade. So what characters are we going to talk about? First of all, is only going to be damage dealers. So you're going to have a priority towards this, because there's no reason for you to like get your reverse flash tube like 7 stars, because you're not gonna get much out of this, and there are far better things you can get. For example, damage dealers, because for example, if I was to like get my Kilnflan Sakuman to 7 stars, I would get more attack on him, and that's great because he really relies on the attack. I will get a little bit more health, which is not something that bothers me, but not something that's useful. I would get a higher level to his abilities, and I would get a higher level to this thing. And also, it's very great for King particularly because he's going to stack this thing. Actually, yeah, it stacks with all the attack that he has pretty much, but the base attack is definitely going to help. It's gonna stack with all blades as well because it's base attack. So yeah, we're going to mainly talk about damage dealers here, and you'll not really get much of a benefit out of upgrading anything else. So yeah, now getting to the chart, and I'll switch in between my roster and the chart and explain why. So first of all, everybody's gonna get Kilnflan Sakuman to 7 stars, and I'm not saying this like this time, it's really not a matter of, oh, everybody's got Kilnflan Sakuman, nobody's got Black Manta, nobody's got shards for Black Manta. Even if you like had the shards for Black Manta, most likely you'd be better off getting your Kilnflan Sakuman to 7 stars first, because he's going to benefit, I think, the most out of all the characters in the game from this, because so let's go over what he gets again. It's gonna get a boost from the super move. It's going to go all the way to 50% damage throughout the duration of the fight, and you were gonna use the super move anyway for the duration of the entire fight. It's gonna heavily benefit from the base attack because it feeds into his passive as well. The only thing that he doesn't really benefit from is percentage things that are going to change with his abilities, like for example higher start duration. But overall, I think this is going to be the character in the game that benefits more or less the most from this. Now in the second tier, we're going to start off with Batman Jackatuman. Like Batman Jackatuman is going to get a little bit of increased duration on this thing, so I guess you need to do it less often. It's going to get a little bit more duration on this, but this for the most part irrelevant because the build contains lethal attack chance anyway, so she doesn't seem to get that much out of everything. But the thing about her is that she's gonna end up having a little bit more base attack than this. My Batman Catwoman is particularly garbage, I'm sorry for that, but she's not gonna have a pretty high base attack anyway because she needs crit chance, crit damage, lethal chance, and fast attack chance, and those are going to occupy a lot of gear slots. So for her, since she's got such a low attack anyway, the little bit of additional base attack that she's going to receive by the star up is going to be very beneficial for her, and in combination with the beta club, this little bit of additional attack is going to be very important. Not as important in soul raids, but very, very important, especially in league raids. So I think Catwoman should be something that you should consider after Kimfla and Sakome. Again, all the characters in the second tier are not gonna be in necessarily any particular order, more like you should consider any of those after you have upgraded your Kimfla and Sakome. Then we're going to have Raven. It's pretty self-explanatory. She's gonna be, I think, the only combo builder that's going to be in this tier, or support character. She can act like as a damage dealer herself. If you use Beta Club again, she's going to synergize very well with the attack boost. She's also got a very strong super move, so getting that to give you a little bit more damage is definitely going to be effective. I actually don't know how much damage she gets from the super move at the next star rating, because usually characters have different values, as you can see. Kimfla and Sakome had a crazy high value. Like, let me go back on this. Okay, so King gets a 35% damage boost compared to Raven's, far lower, but her super move also synergizes with one of her passives, so you're going to heavily benefit from that. The additional attack that you're going to get synergizes very well with all the darkness that you're going to inflict, and you're going to get a little bit of an increase in the duration of some of her abilities. So overall, that's great. I mean, you could make the argument that she's as much as a priority to get to a higher star rating as Kimfla and Sakome, but again, you'll most likely not have the shards before you have the shards for King. Now, getting back to this Black Manta, yet again, it's going to be a combination of two things that we kind of had here previously. So you're not gonna always use his super move, but in a lot of the fights you are gonna use it, so he's going to also benefit from that. He's got his base attack that feeds into this passive, the passive number 1, which is actually, it feeds into this, but I was talking about the revenge mission. Is also going to feed into this, which increases hero's overall damage, so that's great. He's also going to get duration increase for all his abilities, though you're not gonna use them that often. But yeah, definitely something that's worthwhile looking into soon. And then the last one on the second tier is going to be Harley Quinn. And yet again, she's going to also have that little bit of a problem that she doesn't have the highest base attack, because she's gonna need to have a lot of stats. Maybe even some lethal. Lethal is not a mandatory thing, but she's gonna have to have a crit chance, crit damage, and fast attack chance, so she ends up with a pretty low base attack. And the attack is the thing that the dot damage that EPI provides kills with, so definitely should do that. And also, you usually do the super move with this character. It's something that you usually do religiously, which is the super move with this character, so definitely something worthwhile. Now, getting into the second tier, and I'm not necessarily going to go over and explain each and every one of them and show, because I think now you got the gist of this. So without me prolonging this video to half an hour, I'm going to briefly talk about each character. Last of the Joker goes on the same principle as Harley Quinn, but Harley Quinn tends to usually do a little bit more damage, and at the same time she also benefits from a little bit of a higher duration on the special 2 stun. So yeah, you could make the argument of just doing this, and if you consider this is the correct way to do it, I don't mind. It's just do whatever you want, man. If you're gonna get your Joker to 7 stars, I'm not gonna try and stop you. It's definitely very worth it. Serpent is not gonna benefit in any way, shape, or form from the super move or the increased duration on the specials. She's gonna benefit just from some more raw damage, and there's nothing wrong with that. And she's gonna be a top tier damage dealer always for the most part, or at the very least until we get like 2 new characters that are going to be in the top 3 teams, and that's gonna cycle her out, and that granting you that you have all teams. Brainiac is a little bit of a weird one. He's also going to be a support character, but if you get him to 7 stars, you're going to get a higher percentage on his specials, so he might require less special ones to buff up Black Manta. Arkham Knight Batman is going to get an increased duration on the special too if you're using him as a combo builder for like Harley Quinn. Also in the same category can be argued about Predator Batman, but we'll talk about him a little bit later on. But yeah, definitely something it's worth. Actually, let's put this bad boy up here and I'll explain why I did a little bit of a mistake with him, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, for the specialty for a stun bomb, that's the only reason, but that can be a good enough reason. Then we got Entangling Poison Ivy. It's just raw damage. If you want her to deal a little bit more damage in phase 1 with less of Joker, you can upgrade her. Multiverse Armored Supergirl, she just gets attack and a little bit of a higher duration on the special one. And she's going to quite heavily benefit from this, but the thing is, she's not really that good for you to really wanna upgrade her, because she sometimes doesn't make it in the top 6, but she really benefits from that special 1 damage, and that might be useful in raids when using her against Captain Cold. I have Cheetah here because I was too lazy to crop a Vixen pick and put her in the tier list, so this serves for Vixen. Vixen is the only character in the game that actually gets her passive upgraded to like level 7. So for that you'll need her to 7 stars. And yeah, she might actually go up a tier or go down a tier as we see the character in work, but right now she's just released, so we don't really know yet what she's fully capable of. So that remains to be seen. And Predator Batman, I mean, for damage, if you're using him as a damage dealer, though most people are not doing that, but increased duration on the special 1 if you're using him as a combo builder for Zero Banshee, and increased duration on the special 2 if you're using him as a combo builder for Harley Quinn. But most likely until then you'll get an Arkham Knight Batman by the time you're done with everything that's ahead of him. And then there's the whatever tier. We got the Justice League team. Like, those dudes will only get a little bit of an attack boost. This dude will also get a little bit more, I think, power drain on the special too. So while that's great, it's not going to be something that's going to be a priority. Ace Green Arrow is also going to get a little bit more power drain on the special one, and I put him here because he's used sometimes in raids and soul raids. Gorla Grodd gets a boost in damage, so yeah, that's great, I guess, though he's not used as an active character too much. Just League Flash is going to get a boost in damage, though again, you're most likely going to use him as a support character. And then there's Batman Harley Quinn, which is going to buff up the stats of your Batman characters just by being in your roster, and it's going to be a percentage of her attack. So as you increase her star rating, her attack is going to increase, so she's gonna give more attack, but the value is not really that much to be like put on a priority place. So yeah, in the whatever tier, I guess you could add far more characters. In the upgrade last year, I guess you could add or do some changes, or maybe grab some of them and put them down here, maybe put some of them up, but I'll just leave it like this. Look, the only important part is that you get this right. Even if you do it like this, I don't really care. It's still a very fine way to do it, and I think I'll actually leave it like this. If you get this order correct and you do it like this, you're gonna be at the point, even if you skip the legendaries because you don't have shards and you only focus on the golds, after you are at the point where you got your like 4 gold characters at 7 stars, trust me, you're at the point where you no longer need my advice and you're gonna be fine. But yeah, with that being said, thanks so much for watching. This was a heavily requested video after over the past few days, so I'm sorry I couldn't make this sooner, but hope you found this useful, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye!